Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Campus Consortium's Grant Briefing webinar. Today's topic for the webinar is Network Operations Center as a Service. Our presenter for today's session is Vince Varghia, Vice President Security at Oculus IT, and our Ed Talk facilitator today is John Wanamaker, Executive Director of Campus Consortium. We will take questions at the end of today's presentation. Please enter the questions into the chat box or questions pane in your GoToWebinar control panel. Without further ado, please allow me to present Mr. Wanamaker and Mr. Varghia. Over to you, John.
Very good. Thank you, Rosie. Hello, everyone. I'm John Wanamaker. I'm the Executive Director of Campus Consortium, and I would like to thank each of you for joining us today for the Grant Briefing webinar on Network Operating Center as a Service. NOC as a Service is a fully staffed and secured offering designed to ensure cost-effective, scalable, and 24/7 monitoring and support. The NOC monitors more than 10,000 devices that include hosted applications, servers, network devices, storage appliances, and IOTs. I'd like to move forward with our session and share with you a little bit about what I think you will find to be an engaging and informative session today. Firstly, I'd like to share with you a little bit of an overview of the Campus Consortium and to give you some insight into our mission and to how we aim to support institutions by reducing the time, cost, and effort associated with navigating the exploration and implementation of new technologies today. We are a non-for-profit 16-year-old organization that is a global organization with thousands of members. The consortium's mission is about helping members reduce the time, cost, and effort associated with implementing enterprise IT services by leveraging shared IT services, lessons learned, and best practices so that each member can avoid reinventing the wheel when it comes to adopting new education technologies for their institution. On our next slide, I would like to call out that we are supported by a series of technology partners, and these folks are our sponsors for today's session. But before we kick off the session, I do want to call out a few of these sponsors on our slide here today. We have both Unified, Quick Launch, Oracle, Black Belt Health, and Salesforce as part of this suite of technology partners that make up the consortium and who sponsor not only our work today, but a series of other broadcasts that we do on a monthly basis called our Ed Talk. They support the work that we do with publications in terms of white papers and case studies, as well as conference presentations that the consortium is running to highlight innovation and to help other institutions as they navigate technology and technology implementations on their campuses. I do want to get into a little bit on some of the grant details related to this particular grant as NOC as a Service. That is one of the grants offered by the Campus Consortium Technology Grant Program. We have an opportunity to award select institutions a grant of up to $50,000 over a 5-year period. These are partial and full grants that we award, and this is intended to cover the costs towards licensing, hosting, professional services, and support costs associated with implementation of a platform. With the 24/7 NOC as a Service, your data centers are secured round the clock, offering network operations centers that work with the on-site staff to monitor your servers and infrastructure. The NOC experts maintain your inventory and document IP addressable service devices, and the methodology offers documentation for named individuals who will be granted access to reporting capabilities. The services manages threshold settings on each system and monitor devices with on-site staff to determine optimum settings. With that said, I would like now to introduce you to today's speaker. Session is going to be led by Vince Varghia. Vince has 13 years of experience leading infrastructure and cloud operations. As VP of Security at Oculus IT, one of our technology partners, he is focused on developing global information security strategy, operations, and governance. His areas of expertise include data center management, cloud operations, innovation, automation, risk management, strategic planning, and execution. With no further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Vince, and he's going to kick off the rest of our session today. So Vince, take it away.
Thank you, John, and good afternoon, everyone. I would like to take a chance to touch upon NOC as a service by Oculus IT. But before even talking about it, I'm going to just walk you through with Oculus IT. Oculus IT is a company established back in 2003, has got 15 plus years of higher education serving experience. The vision is to empower higher education to affordably meet students' exponentially increasing technology demands. The headquarters is in Chicago. The NOC Operations Center is ISO 27001 compliance. The entire facility is biometrics secured with the human guards. We have got 24/7 fully staffed NOC catering to more than 200 clients. In today's webinar, I'm going to cover NOC services coverage, the benefits of outsourced staff, walk you through with some question and answers in the end. Let me just touch upon NOC as a service, but before even talk about, I would like to go in a comparison wherein we used to have this mindset of legacy NOC, which was dealing with ticketing mainly, and then has no wider spectrum of technologies like patch management, security event handling, or antivirus monitoring, SLA tracking. Our managed NOC services are designed to work as an extension of your IT infrastructure, giving you the power of state-of-the-art capacity without having to invest in or care for it. We provide companies, universities, schools a seamless experience while the monitoring operations are carried out through Oculus IT NOC. We can work with your current tools or onboard your infrastructure to our enterprise monitoring solution named Oculus ITI. Now, let me just describe the NOC service coverage, which is wide than what we are showcasing here, but then I would like to showcase the key pointers which should be part of any advanced NOC in today's era. Our coverage revolves around monitoring systems and network for compliance and performance. We should be tracking all of our security events, tracking the SIAM tools. We should also be monitoring O365, which is getting crucial because in today's era, we see a lot of phishing incidents coming through the emails, and it's really, really important to be able to trace such incidents and do the action just to be able to assure your environment that it's secure and then future-proof. The NOC should also be covering the antivirus monitoring and making sure whether your all antivirus clients are up to date in terms of their existing patches, because it's really important. If you miss the recent patch, that itself is a security risk because your environment safeguards are not up to date in terms of their recent patches which have been released by the OEMs. We would also be helping you managing your SLAs. We as a team would be doing predictive analysis and diagnosis on all of your events, your security relevant events, as well as your patch upgrades, your backup updates, whether it's happening on time, whether they are healthy, as well as your environment is reacting beyond the SLAs, which is defined for the performance matrices. We would also be doing monitoring updates for your Windows as well as Mac devices. And then it's really important, if we look at today's environment, this is a pain area wherein people spend so much of time upgrading their patches, though they might miss the recent patches as well. But then the key pain area is to be able to track the patches and then make that happen where their systems are getting upgraded with the recent patches released by either Microsoft Linux or the Mac. We will help you tracking all of these patches versions, and we can also help you as an add-on service to be able to take the operation of doing the patches by ourselves rather than your IT resources investing time doing that. We would be able to do your portal monitoring, which covers the portal load and response. We would also be able to do your application monitoring, which is a key component. If you look at nowadays, application is the key component for any IT infrastructure. The system is very flexible in terms of getting integrated with different applications. You can run App Dynamics and then integrate with our system. Our system can also integrate with Grafana to be able to give you live, real-time feel of what's happening in your infrastructure in terms of performance matrices, in terms of uptime, or could be any other different attribute. Can we move to the next slide, please? Now, I'm going to touch upon the benefits one could get by outsourcing the NOC. So the very first is response to the incidents faster than you are doing currently. And we all know that it's a pain area to be able to have a resource who is sitting right at the desk just to be able to track any event and then engage with that event. And for the universities or the school or the companies who really lack resources, it's an area where they are really not able to respond to an incident timely fashion. But then with the outsourced NOC to us, we would be able to respond to the incidents as fast as, whenever there is an incident, we are able to log it and then inform you guys that, have a look and then align our resources from the respective functional area, and then the team can look into it and resolve it pretty quickly. The next advantage is you can reduce your downtime significantly because you have a 24/7 into 365 desk, which is keeping an eye on all of your functional areas. You don't have to worry on your off production hours, your weekdays, your holidays, because we are there to back you for any such events which are coming. We can involve the teams right on time and then have them work on the priority so that they can sleep well, and then this way they could have relaxation in their overall KRAs, because at times people get stressed out while working on the NOC operations rather than giving their best to their other prime areas of technology which could adhere to more advancement, but then because of the NOC or because of this incidents, they really are giving the 40% or 50% of their main time frame to this and reducing the overall the performances as well. Next item, please. Now, let's talk about some stats before even touching it. We have seen that companies, schools, or universities who has opted for NOC services, they have reduced their overall business costs and revenue by 28%. They have improved their productivity by 47%. They have 28% improvement in overall protection from cyber attacks. Now, having said that, people are still using legacy NOC or deploying the in-house NOC, but then they could actually sublease it or outsource it to Oculus IT and then work on their optimum network or server applications performance rather than investing their time to the incident management. Also, using the outsourced NOC, you can achieve your targeted SLAs, which is a prime area wherein we all at times miss the SLAs because we have our resources working on something else, and it's hard time tracking what's the priority and whether they are getting enough attention or not. Our NOC understand the prime areas. They understand what kind of events could be a priority for your businesses, and then based on that they can align your resources and can escalate it to further. We design our solution in a way that we define priorities based on the functional or business impact. Something like priority one, we open a bridge or a conference and then align resources within 5 to 10 minutes of the incident awareness. So think about it. You don't have to worry about any server outage, and you would not going to skip it because we are there to be able to identify it and then align the resources from your team to start working on it. The next item, which is again very important, we in the infrastructure, we really did not engage ourselves building standard operating procedures, which is a key factor. While we transition your NOC operations, we make sure that we develop the SOPs libraries so that we have standard procedures for NOC resources to judge what kind of action or procedure they need to follow for a particular kind of event. This library would be of helpful for your IT resources as well. Whenever you guys would going to have a new joinee, you can actually refer these SOPs just to be able to make him knowledge transition or to be able to pace him up with the entire operations. Next, please. Now, this is a key item. We have a team of experts and specialists. You get easy access to proficient and experienced experts to ensure that your infrastructure is appropriately functional. Imagine running 24/7 365 operations with more than 30 NOC certified experienced engineers that have your back. As we carefully monitor and maintain network devices, enterprise servers, databases, and application. And if there is any anomaly in infrastructure or health of your network and system devices, security or capacity, we will be first line of defense to alert you, as well as work tirelessly to regain optimal network server application performance. We really do have your back and always will with 24/7 and 365 support. Next slide, please. With outsourced NOC, you would be able to reduce your operating cost. In general, our team have the knowledge to make informed decisions, ensuring environment is smooth. They have fair understanding of students' ERP like Illusion, Banner, Genzabar, Workday, Colleague, Canvas, Blackboard, etc. This really helps your IT resource because whenever you need your environment to be optimized for better performance, you can come up to us, we can tweak and tune it. We'll optimize your infrastructure by suggesting improvements and future technology adherence. And hence, you save that additional resource which you require for your NOC operations, because the pay scale for IT resource ranges from $30,000 to nearly $80,000 a year, and that's actually a major portion from the entire year IT budget. And I hope this is pretty understandable for the people who are coming from higher ed. Next pointer, please. With the outsourced NOC, you don't have to worry about the infrastructure reporting. you get report for your compliance adherence. We would be able to get you CIO dashboard, which gets you easy access to the entire reporting. It's just a click away. You all need to do is access the dashboard, go to the reportings, and then patch it. I'm gonna cover that in the demo, which we were gonna touch upon in some minutes from here. Next slide, please. Now, with the outsourced NOC, your IT resources are freed up for the other tasks. And we have seen IT resources really giving their main time consuming themselves into the incident management, but then now they don't have to worry about it. They're free to do more vital things for the company, like analyzing data, and then this allows them to work on issues that arise of more importance than routine maintenance of systems and antivirus software. Next slide, please. These are the, in general, scoping, the various services which should participate while you talk about NOC monitoring, stuff like email monitoring, your URL monitoring, SSL certificate monitoring, DNS, your VoIP and SIP, ping uptime, trace routes, email blacklisting. Now, aside to this, will also be helping in terms of tracking your hardware and software support, contract expiry, and your vendor contracts. And this is an add-on. In general, you may not find people helping you out in that, but then we have seen people fighting, managing their contracts, their expiries, and it's a crucial factor. And we would gonna take that pain and then would be able to manage it for you. And then aside to this, we have a key functions like vulnerability scans, which we do in parallel doing the NOC operations, like our resources. While they are sitting idle, they would be investing their time for the vulnerability scan. This way, we are really helping consumers out knowing the open vulnerabilities in their environment. And this is just an add-on to the NOC services. This helps our resources to be engaged with the fast-paced technology. They are really aware about the new anomalies, any security threats which is coming in the market, and this way they are able to help you making aware about what are the different anomalies or security open loop holes are there, so that you can work on enhancing your security, while our NOC operations are just judging your environment while investing their time and then enhancing themselves. Next slide, please. This is a live picture of our network operations center. You see various multiple screens, which gives them a live feed about what's happening in the infrastructure. Anything which is red takes their attention, and then they start working on the incident management. I'm going to showcase the live demo of our Oculus IT monitoring dashboard. Rosie, can you please pass on the controls to me so that I can share my screen? I hope you're able to see my screen. Great. So this is a live dashboard. This is a live dashboard which showcase the multiple sites in a single view. If you look at the left top, this is our data center based in Cleveland, Ohio. And then this is a pre-production model. I'm really not touching the main production for the demonstration. It's really not recommended. On the right side, you see our AWS environment, and left side you see our one of the client, Reinhardt University, live on the dashboard. Now, from here we get to see any critical events, any high risk events, or any low priority events. Our team pick those events or incidents or issues, and then open a ticket and inform your team about the event so that they can work on it. Now, aside to this, I'm also going to showcase the dashboard which we would going to leverage. You guys, like a main CIO dashboard, your team can have access to. But before even going through, let's just have the understanding about the Oculus IT dashboard. Now, we've got a central problem dashboard where you're able to see all of the problem areas from the different sites at a single screen. From here, we are tracking, what kind of incidents are going through and then requires the attention. We're also tracking the web URLs. Let me just click on one of the examples. We are able to track the URL speed as well as response time, the load as well as response time, so that we are able to track it and then update you in case of any issues or errors. We have different graphs for the different services, which we accommodate or do a cumulative reporting bi-weekly or monthly, wherein we'll set up a time, our SDM as well as technical team would going to walk you through with the health of your environment with the graphical representation of the different attributes which is getting monitored, like CPU, RAM, disk storage, network, throughput, as well as your web URLs or applications. Now let's just go through to one of these server and let's see how it's reacting for the CPU load. Now this is a CPU load for last 1 hour, and as you can see, my team could deep dive into the pattern and see what's happening. Now let me just touch upon the CIO dashboard. So the dashboard which the companies and schools or university would going to have access to. This is a single dashboard for all of our sites as well as cumulative sites for the customers which are on board with us. But then let's go to the CIO dashboard, which is exclusive for your company. Now we have make sure that you get all the details in a single page so that you don't have to move here and there in the dashboard, and all you have to do is log in and have a sense what's happening in and out. You get the memory utilization of your environment. These are the different servers getting monitored. You get idea on the CPU utilization, your disk space, as well as all the events flashing for your environment. This is the live feed coming from one of the university named Reinhardt. You can go into the problems and then look out for all of these problems in a single go round. So this is about the dashboard. Can we move back to the slide, Rosie, please? Now, the Oculus IT as a platform is very much flexible. The way we have built it, it's easy to integrate with all other solutions available in the market, like ManageEngine, Nagios, Xenos, OpenNMS, PRTG, Datadog, SolarWinds, or any other application monitoring like AppDynamics or Grafana. So we are very much flexible in terms of integrating with your on-premises or your cloud tools, so that we can integrate all these services into a single dashboard and then provide you that monitoring. You can also use our ITSM ConnectWise for ticketing or event management. In general, we leverage it out for all of the customers who are taking NOC services from us. But then in case you have your own tool and want us to engage the procedure or event management through it, we can do that as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we have both the features available from us. If you have your own tool, which is working well and fine for you, but then you don't have resources like off business hours, over the weekends or holidays, you can leverage us out managing or fill in that gap. You can also leverage us in case you're not have any NOC operations at all. We can come in and take the ownership of the entire operations with our Oculus IT solution, which has the ability to be able to monitor it. I've just showcased the one of the dashboard, the capabilities which it has got, but then the features are endless because it is flexible enough to be able to integrate with any of the other tools. It could integrate with a Splunk for your SIAM events. It could integrate with Alien Vault. It could integrate with App Dynamics for your application monitoring, Grafana, Kubernetes, all of it. So we're really talking future in terms of integrating with any of the technology available in the market. Next slide, please. Now, this is what our NOC looks like. It's really technically advanced because had it been a decade ago, you may not have thought about it. Running all of the monitoring advancement at a single viewpoint, and then able to have your team work on it at the same time. So our system can, or this is how our daily NOC resources life is. They are monitoring the SIAM events like Alien Vault or Splunk, your firewall, IPS, IDS. They are doing backup health monitoring, whether the backups are happening on time. They could monitor your Veeam, your backup exec. They could do patch management, like installing WSUS and then figuring out whether the patches are getting rolled out to all of your devices in a timely fashion. If not, they could actually get their hands on to the infrastructure and do it by themselves. They could monitor your infrastructure performance using Natia, SolarWinds, or we can integrate to the Oculus ITI. We are doing ATP, Advanced Threat Protection for Office 365, which controls all of the phishing attacks or any anomaly coming from the emails. And then we are keeping an eye all of these functional areas at the same time, which give you enough bandwidth or enough peace so that your team has enough time to work on the other functional areas and you don't have to worry about these key components. Next slide, please. Now, let's just talk about how Oculus IT comes and take the ownership of the entire NOC operations. We're going to do the first phase, which is initial discovery of your infrastructure, which takes approximately a week's time. The next phase is to either do a platform setup, and in case you have your own platform, a knowledge transfer of that platform to our NOC operations. During the entire process, we were going to document every stuff or any knowledge transfer which we are getting. Aside to this, we would going to define the SOPs. We'll note down all of the event flows or any incidents which would going to rise in the environment later. Define the behavior characteristics or the pattern which the NOC resources should be taking based on the SOPs. The next week, we would going to do the functional and technical corrections if there are any requirement on the engagement, either on your tool or on our tool or on our monitoring or your monitoring. The next week is the production live week, wherein we both we're going to sync up. We'll talk about whether the engagement is working out well as we decided, or it requires any further tuning or tweaking. Next slide, please. So this is it about the NOC operations center services. I'm going to touch upon one more pointer, the importance of project transition. NOC services are extension of your IT, and coordination plays a vital role. The coordination between the IT resources and NOC plays the important role is in terms of smoothing the entire engagement and operations further. Now, these SOPs, standard operating procedures, ensure the consistent results, empower the workforce, help managing the SLAs, and achieve quality goals. And hence, we put more emphasis towards the transitioning or the initial phase of discovery, and then the platform setup, wherein we put enough focus on producing the SOPs just to be able to achieve the quality goals rather than detract from it or waste time and money just fighting with the day-to-day headache which you're already doing. So that's it from my side. I hope I've covered all of the main pointers and gave you the enough walkthrough or sense of the services and tool what we have. In case you have any question and answer, this is the time you can raise over the chat or
Very good, Vince. Thank you for that. I think it was a very informative, useful session. We did have a few questions come in, so thank you for taking those for us. First one we have is around pricing. Can you give the audience, say, a sense of how the NOC as a service is priced?
I would say not really. That answer revolves around, or I would anticipate or expect clients, companies, university to go through the campus consortium, because ideally this is a grant program and that would going to help them out.
Right, I get it. So recommendation would be go through the campus consortium application process first as a way of determining opportunity for a grant award that could offset some of the pricing structure. Makes sense.
Right.
Okay. Next question we have are, what are the SLAs you commit?
That's an important question. I think I missed while talking about the service. We've designed our solution so that we don't miss a beat or any incident in the environment. So first, we define categories in the events, whether it's a priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, or priority 4, based on the impact on the business. The P1 cases in general has an SLA of 30 minutes, wherein you get the acknowledgement. We were going to open a bridge conference and then align resources from your side to participate on the bridge so that they understand there's something critical which requires their attention. The other SLAs are for P2 incidents, which is 60 minutes, and followed by P3 and P4, which is 4 hours and 8 hours respectively. So this is a time duration wherein we just not acknowledge the problem, but then we're also going to update you guys about the incident and then align your resources to be able to act on it. I hope that helps.
All right, very good, thank you. All right, do we have any other questions that anyone wants to post in our chat box here before we move on? Got a chat box there if anybody wants to post anything, but in the meantime, I think we can continue on with today's session. I do want to quickly run through again some of the NOC as a service benefits. So as we mentioned, Campus Consortium's grant for NOC as a service provides selected institutions with an award up to $50,000 over a period of 5 years. These are partial and full grants that are awarded. The grant is intended to cover the cost towards licensing and hosting of these professional services. With the 24/7 NOC as a service, your data centers are secured around the clock, offering network operations center that works with your on-site staff to monitor your servers and infrastructure. The NOC experts maintain your inventory and document IP addressable devices, and the methodology offers documentation for a number of named individuals who will be granted access to reporting capabilities. The service manages the threshold settings on each of the system and monitors the devices with on-site staff to determine your optimum setting. We have a number of grants that are open in addition to the NOC as a service grant. You'll see here that we have listed some of those on the screen, and we do encourage you all to visit campusconsortium.org to visit the other open grants that we have. We do these throughout the year, and we are committed to providing these grants to help offset costs for a variety of solutions, products, and services that institutions are looking to implement. We encourage you to check out campusconsortium.org to learn more about the grants listed here. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I want to let you know that we also have another upcoming grant briefing webinar in the month of September. It will be on our single sign-on grant. We will be sharing an invitation and details with you shortly, and we will also be sharing a recording of our session today as well as the slides. If you have any questions about the technology grant program at Campus Consortium or the NOC as a service grant, please get in touch. Also keep in mind that we are keen on having you complete an application for this particular grant, and look forward to hearing from you and working with you all to implement NOC as a service on your campus. With that, I will say thank you for joining us today. I will thank Vince for a terrific presentation and for sharing his insight with us today. And we look forward to having you all join us on our next grant briefing webinar from the Campus Consortium. With that said, I'm going to be signing off. My name is John Wanamaker, Executive Director of Campus Consortium, and we thank everyone for being with us today. We're going to sign off now. Thanks much.